video about my first hospitalization when I was a teenager. So I decided that I was gonna, when I first attempted to make this video, I called it my rise and fall. But I ended up talking a whole lot of shit about, like, you know, all over the place. So basically, I'm gonna just shoot my shit and see where it goes, because essentially I want this video to be about, like, how I maintained my health after fucking up majorly. But I want to include how I fucked up and how I figured out that I was fucking up, because that's a major part on what kept me healthy. You feel me? So, like, you can't have, you know, it's trial and error. You can't just sit here and tell everybody what you did to do better and not tell people how you fucked up. Like, you can't have the good without the bad. You have to include the bad so people know that you fucked up and you're not just perfect. You know, there is, you know, this entire portion of fucking up, and that's how you got better. Because I literally knew fucking nothing, and that is exactly how I got to the point of knowing everything about my fucking self. So can't nobody come up to me and try to tell me shit about me and think I'm not gonna look at them like you're fucking dumb. Because that is the reason why someone can be like, oh, here, you need to do this. I'm gonna be like, what the bitch, get out my face, okay? I'm that motherfucker now, because, like, I'm gonna listen to you, and this is why I tell people, like, one thing I know is I don't know shit, because I will sit here and I'll intake anything anyone wants to tell me, and I take what I need to know. If I feel like I don't need to know what the fuck you're telling me, I'm throwing that shit out the window. I don't need to hear that shit. But if I feel like you tossing me some mad knowledge, I'm taking it. So, like, I feel like that's how everybody should take the videos that I put out here, or whatever that I say, whatever I put out into the world. If you don't need to hear that shit, don't take it in. That's just like anybody that sees anything on that fucking internet. Don't sit here and, you know, whoop and holler about whatever the fuck you hear. If you don't need to hear that shit, don't ingest it. That shit's terrible for you. Throw that shit out the fucking window. But if it's some shit you need to fucking hear, take that shit, put it in your pocket, hold it on for as long as you need to know. Because that's something that was a part of my trials and errors. Like, letting stupid shit piss me off was something I really had to learn, because I let a lot of stupid shit piss me off, and stressors and emotions and all that shit, like, along those lines, is something that you know, that causes flare-ups for people with sickle cell. So people like to say, you know, it's okay for me to have depression and anxiety, and people just won't let me be. Basically, well, they'll be like, well, people won't let me be depressed because I have sickle cell, and it's okay. No, bitch, fight that shit. That is a reason for you to get up every fucking day and not let people have these stigmas on you. Like, fuck that shit. Like, that should be a reason you get up every day and be like, you can't sit here and tell me I can't do something. Fuck you. I'm getting up and I'm doing it. Especially if you told me I couldn't do it. I hate when people tell me I can't do some shit. People told me all my life I can't do shit. Like, my biggest one right now is people telling me, like, basically I lived like half my life already. Motherfucker, I ain't dying at 40. I ain't dying at 60. I saw a motherfucker that had SS, and she has 7 kids and is 99 years old. I am going to live like that bitch right there. And she's older than me, so she doesn't have all the medications and all the shit that they're coming out with right now. So every doctor that's out here handing me shit, I don't want it. I don't want it, because I was someone that didn't take well to the medications that they have right now. So every time they hand me shit, I don't want it. I don't want it. Guess what? When I got off it, I did so much better. All power to you guys that, you know, are doing well on it, because that's something that works for you. Every sickle cell patient is different, 100% different. Guess what? When I walk into hospitals and doctors are like, oh, well, I don't know how to help you. Well, let's do blood transfusions. Every other sickle cell patient uses blood transfusion. Bitch, I ain't never had one. Don't give me that shit. Don't introduce no foreign objects into me unless I say yes. Motherfucker, that is my right. Yeah, I've only had one transfusion, and it wasn't even a whole blood transfusion. There's different kinds, and I had a solely red blood cell transfusions, and it was because of the medication I was on. It was lowering my red blood cell count in my bone marrow, and it was fucking all my shit up. And this was the the stages of the hydroxyurea. This is the shit that fucks you up. And what's the downfall to hydroxyurea? It gives you leukemia. Like, they're giving me bone marrow biopsies. Bitch, have you had bone marrow biopsies? This shit ain't fun, okay? Like, I'm sitting here laughing and joking while I'm getting them done just because I'm a playful motherfucker. By the way, don't make your doctor laugh while she's got a big ass needle in your back. It's funny, but it's not that funny. And chill out, lady. You got a big ass needle in my back, okay? So like, it's like people thought like I was getting a bone marrow transplant. Like, I was getting tested to see if I needed to get a bone marrow transplant because I was becoming anemic. I was becoming my bone marrow was like, count was going down. My red blood cell count was going down. Like, every other count that should have been going up was going down. Everything was doing the opposite of what it should have done. The only thing that red blood cell transfusion did for me, the only thing it did for me was get me off inhalers. It didn't do shit for me, and it gave me a little bit of energy for maybe 2 weeks. And even my mom noticed that all it did was for me was give me energy. Like, that was it. Like, I was good for 2 weeks, and then I was back to the same old tired ass bitch that I had been for that time being. And they were like, oh, that's cool. But even my own personal hematologist is like, cool, we ain't doing that again. We sent you all the way up to 2 hours out of town to do that for what? For doctors to tell you the same thing I've been telling you, for them to do some shit that didn't help you. Like, we were basically trying to see if they were going to consider you for a bone marrow transplant, and they didn't do that either. So why waste your time? You're driving out of town for what? For them to say the same shit that you're getting told here, and they ain't telling you that they're doing, we ain't wasting your time. You feel me? So all that shit's going down. I ended up getting a ports, working for me. I got tired of getting stabbed all the fucking time, because during that time I was in the hospital, I blew veins. I had what's the other thing? When you don't blow a vein, you would think I'm a phlebotomist, so I fucking remember off the top of my head. Whatever. Like, my shit was fucking up, okay? So it's coming out. I ended up getting stabbed 13 times, poked 13 times, whatever, you feel me? And I ain't about that gang life, ain't that hood life, you feel me? I'll punch a bitch, but I ain't getting stabbed, you feel me? You stabbing me, I stab a bitch back, but what the fuck is you doing? Fuckers in their muscle cars, you feel me? Bet you I drive better than you any fucking way. Anyways, off topic. So it was just a mad learning experience, because I knew for a fact once that happened to me, I went to a chemo suite and they sent me home after that experience because they couldn't get me twice. I'm like, you know how long I've been coming to get this shit done, and y'all sent me home after two tries? I should have got this so fucking long ago, because this happens all the fucking time. And if I could have been having this, easier experience, infiltrated line. My line infiltrated all the time. My line's infiltrating. My fucking veins blowing. All this shit. You feel me? And they just keep trying, and they're trying to I'm gonna get it. You're not gonna get it because I'm dehydrated. I'm extra dehydrated. You're coming to hydrate me. You feel me? I'm getting hydration. And on top of this, I'm not telling them that when I'm not in the hospital, all I fucking do is smoke and drink, okay? And if you know anything about smoking and drinking, what it does to a normal person, it barely affects someone. But what it does to us with sickle cell patients, our blood is already deoxygenated, so you're smoking takes the oxygen out of your blood. So we're fucking it up even more, right? And then alcohol dehydrates everybody, and then I'm drinking, and mind you, like I can drink like a motherfucker, and I can smoke like a motherfucker, and I had been doing it 10 years straight nonstop. You feel me? Every fucking day. When I was not at work, and it got to a point when all this shit was happening to me, I was doing it at work. I don't work at these places anymore, so I don't give a fuck. So, and I'm pretty sure half these motherfuckers knew I was doing it at work. They just didn't tell me until we started beefing that they knew I was doing it. I'm like, why didn't y'all fucking tell me anyway? Y'all just didn't tell me till y'all got mad and wanted to throw a hissy fit. But we was riders anyway, and I fucked with them the long way. And they were getting mad at me because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was like, I'm taking care of myself. I'm fucking taking care of myself. I go to the doctors all the fucking time. When I'm not here, I'm at the fucking doctor. And that was kind of the problem, you feel me? Like, that was the argument when I went, like, I didn't want everybody to be on my shit. I'm like, let me just handle it. You're telling me I'm not taking care of myself, and that's all I fucking do when I'm not here. I'm at the doctor, and then I come here, and I just didn't have any time to watch. I was at my wits' end. You feel me? I was burnt out, and I was taking it out at everybody, and I didn't want everybody to fucking care so much, but they fucking did. And I was just like, just leave me the fuck alone. I got it. I will fucking take care of it. And besides learning about, you know, the fact that I was, you know, dehydrating myself beyond belief and taking the oxygen out of my fucking bloodstream, the fact that I think to the point where it was affecting, like, the amount of oxygen that was getting to my brain, because, like, I was starting to smoke, and, like, we would get maybe, like, 2 blunts in, and, like, I would feel the heart palpitations. I'm like, it's cool, I'll just drink water. But then I would continue to smoke, and everyone knew, like, I would just, you know, I would buy water beforehand, and like a Gatorade too. I would buy heavy beverages before we hotbox or whatever. But then I would just start throwing up. And the person that I smoked with the most often and that was happening, they would just like, fuck it, I ain't smoking with you. I done told you already, like, something's wrong with you. Because I would always just try to make excuses. I was like, oh, I just worked a lot. You know, I'm just tired. I didn't sleep enough. I didn't eat. And they were like, do you think these excuses are any better than whatever's actually going on? Because when I actually figured it out, I'm like, hey, I'm doing good. Like, I can smoke a blunt or whatever. But I was like, in reality, just to kick it and see the homie. I haven't seen him in a while. But in reality, I was like, hey, I'm not smoking anymore. And I'm like, technically I'm sober, but I would make an excuse to smoke with a friend to see. I haven't seen him in a while, because this is all I did with my friends. And I'm like, and I even tried to tell them when I tried to get sober, I was just like, y'all ain't got any other things y'all like to do? Like, some of them I hiked with them, but I'm like, they didn't realize that I like to hike until I started doing the shit by myself. I was like, cause I had this mindset that I'm not gonna wait until I'm on my deathbed to sit here and be like, I wanted to do all this shit and I never did it. And I'm not gonna be like, well, my friends never wanted to do it with me. XYZ never wanted to do that shit with me. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna make sure I get the shit done. And if I gotta do it by myself, I'm gonna fucking do it by myself. So I would just go. And when I started smoking and drinking by myself, it was because I was so upset that one of my other dreams had got crushed. So I was like, fuck it. And it was because I got sick. Why? Because I was smoking and drinking so fucking heavy, and where I was at, it was so fucking hot. So I also didn't know about how big a factor the weather played on me. I knew being cold made me, put me in pain, but I didn't know about the heat, because where I live, it don't get hot like that. But I moved and it was fucking 115 and it was the hot, and they said it was like record heat when I got there. And motherfucker, I walked down the street and my phone overheated, my iPod overheated, because motherfuckers, there was iPods around these times, and I had an asthma attack before I was even a block and a half from where I was living, and I had to like bend the corner into a store and get some water and catch my breath, because I was like, holy fuck, like what the fuck just happened? And it was because it was too hot, and granted, where I lived, it was mandatory AC. I was out in Arizona, but like, I had to learn literally by fucking up continuously, drinking too much in a scorching heat, you know, going to the hospital, and then but people weren't, I guess maybe they didn't know that I had no idea what I was doing. Maybe they just thought I didn't care because I just kept doing it. Because, like, I think it took about, like, 4 years for somebody to just finally say, did you drink? Like, they just did a blood test or whatever. They, you know, they did my labs, and a nurse came back to me. She asked me straight up, she said, were you drinking? And that was one of the triggers, besides, you know, me feeling the difference. Like, I've known for a long time that I immediately feel pain when I start drinking. But she straight up asked me, she said, hey, did you drink? And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, why didn't nobody ever fucking say nothing to me? I was like, if y'all would have just said that shit to me, I would have stopped a long ass time ago. I was like, regardless of the fact that I smoke and drink on a regular, because I'm like, I broke my own integrity and my personal rules and smoke and drink my fucking feelings at the moment, I would have stopped if I knew that shit was fucking me up. I'm like, the reason why I was doing it, I knew it wasn't helping the goals I was trying to accomplish. I saw that shit fail a long time ago. It wasn't fixing the problems that I was trying to fix, and I saw that real quickly. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna just keep doing it. What else I got to do? I was like, my friends ain't gonna go hiking with me, so if I want to kick it with my friends, I gotta go smoke and drink. So when I'm not hiking and I'm not working and that doing all that shit in my alone time, I'm gonna go kick it with my friends. They smoke and drink. I'm gonna provide that shit. And then I started to realize how much of I was a bad influence I was too on my friends, because when I didn't provide this shit, they didn't have it. So I was like, oh shit. So like, I felt like a bad person too, because I was just like, they would probably be doing a lot better in their lives if I wasn't putting that shit in front of them. You feel me? So I'm just like, okay, do better, you know, in a full aspect, because it was fucking me up personally, physically, mentally, and I was just in a low place. And I told that to people, and they didn't like really get where I was going. They just realized that I was depressed. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, every goal I have, my health stops me from doing it. And I'm just like, so that's fucking with me in a major way, especially since I'm such a goal-driven person. Like, the one thing I can't make go away is the one thing that's stopping me from doing everything that I want to get somewhere. And like, the overall goal I have is to show people that that's not gonna be a problem. Like, who fucking cares if you know, if I have sickle cell, because I'm gonna get where I'm going. And essentially, I've always, you know, called an audible. Like, if that shit's gotten in my way, I figured another way around it. So fucking what? You know, I'm gonna get my shit done. And, you know, it just gets frustrating, because, okay, well, like, when I'm upset, I like to go exercise, I like to work out. But if I'm in a pain and I'm in a lot of pain, can't do that shit. So it was kind of eating at me, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I supposed to do? If I'm not supposed to be smoking, how am I supposed to get that aggression, that thought, that energy, that adrenaline out? So I had to start thinking a different way. And it took me somewhere else. And I guess it took that somewhere else in me to realize that I had been doing a lot of shit and I've been kind of like burying a lot of me and a lot of pain for a long ass time, especially in regards to my health, because everything had to do with my health. Anything that hurt me, some way reverted back to my health. And I was just like, that's kind of fucked up, but that's the moral of the story. So I was like, okay, well, I'ma fix it. I'ma start baby step by baby step, and I am going to make it so I can can be here in 20 years. I can have the life that I want to live. Like, I know that I want to wild out, you know, in my 20s and in my younger years or whatever, but I also know that I want a family when I'm older. I can't have a family when I'm older if I'm out here shaking ass, drinking 40s and smoking blunts every fucking day. Because right now, I know that that's fucking me up inside. I know that, you know, the moment I start drinking, my body starts throbbing. My legs hurts, my arms hurts, everything starts swelling. And just popping a pill before, like, I knew that popping perks was like something people did to get them fucked up faster was a thing. I was doing it when I was younger to make it so I can dance at a party, or, you know, make it so I could drink. Because going hard or going home, drinking so much that I had to drink past the pain, that's a lot to drink. And that's usually what I did, regardless if I, you know, took pain medication before, or, you know, yeah, before. And when my pain medication got to a really strong dose is when it really started to hit me, because I couldn't make it home. Like, you know, fuck 10 people drink and drive regardless, you know. But it's like you also know your tolerance. But it got to a point where I would get everybody else home, but by the time I got to the point of me getting home, I would be like, holy shit, why did I get so sleepy? And I remember the first time I ever started taking those fucking pills, I didn't even drink that night. I maybe had a couple hits off a blunt, but I had stayed up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I took the pills at like 6 p.m. And I had just gotten out of the hospital, and I fell asleep and didn't even know I fell asleep. And I fucking hit a curb, and I was like, holy shit. But when I started taking the pills, and I would take them at work, and I would like spontaneously plan to go out, and I didn't know, and I would forget that I took the pills at work, and I would go out and I would drink, and I would drink like I didn't take them because I didn't remember that I took them. That's when I would start driving home, and I would hardly be able to make it home, and I would be swerving, falling asleep, and I would like get the lights flashed behind me because it was a cop, and a cop basically telling you like, straighten your shit up or I'm gonna pull you over. And I'm trying to tell motherfuckers, I'm like, hey, either you need to meet me somewhere, or we need to figure out this driving situation, because I can't be driving as far as I'm driving. Like, I'm not making it home. And you're pissed off because I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking because I need to make sure I make it home. That's my life on the line. You don't give a fuck because you're not in the situation that I'm in. Your body's not going through what I'm going through. Oh, but you're not fun once you don't drink. But I need to make it home. Do you want me to be out? Do you want me to fucking die? Do you want me to get a DUI? Do you want me to get a ticket? Do you want me to lose my car? Well, you don't give a fuck because it's not you. But you might give a fuck if you actually care if you're my friend. If I fucking die, right? Oh, wait, but you didn't care because when I kept reiterating this shit to you and we stopped talking, it was my fault. Because you just really didn't understand how many times I fucking told you I need to stop drinking. Because my quality of life depends on my pain management. My pain ain't going away. You looked at me like I was a fucking junkie when I kept telling you how much pain medication I take on a regular basis. Because you know motherfuckers that pop pills and do all this shit. I'm not that motherfucker. I'm not your friend. I ain't your mama. I ain't your cousin. I ain't your uncle, okay? Stop being these motherfuckers that judge me. Don't look up my fucking disease. Actually Google the shit. Ask me about it, but you never did. That's the fucked up shit that people do. That's the trials and tribulations that people gotta go through with having this disease. The stigmas. People, when you go to the hospital, people think you're drug seeking. Why the fuck would I drug seek? Why do I want to take a drug on a regular basis that I can't even stay up half the time? Like, if I were not driving right now and talking to this fucking video, I would not be awake. on God. I don't call God my co-pilot. I call God my fucking driver, because I can't explain to you how many times that I should not have made it home and I did. And it is completely by the grace of fucking God on everything I love. And I don't know how many times, how many different ways to explain it. Do I need to explain it in English? Do I need to explain it in Spanish? Do I need to like refresh my fucking French and try to explain it to y'all? That's why I was just like, if you can't fathom that shit, I don't need you in my fucking life. I don't need those kind of fucking people in my life. Like, I literally posted the fucking dented rim and was like, holy shit, I fell asleep. Why do I need to elaborate more than that? Best thing I ever heard was, friends don't need explanations and enemies won't believe them. Enough said. Enough said. So like, I've even had someone close to me. You won't even believe how close to me they are. And I don't want to say it because of how fucked up this shit is. When I say it takes less than a drop of alcohol for my body to tell that I have had alcohol, that they told me that they were going to give me a virgin margarita, and they lied to me, and they were, because they're like, oh, you know, she drinks heavy, she's not going to be able to tell that there's alcohol in there. I don't give a fuck if I don't taste it or not. My body will be able to tell that there's fucking alcohol in there, okay? So as soon as I took the sip of that drink, I knew that that motherfucker gave me alcohol. And I said, that's fucked up. I'm like, if I was genuinely a fucking alcoholic, you would have just ruined my fucking sobriety. And you could have just ruined my entire fucking life. What if I was addicted to heroin or some shit, and that sip of alcohol sent me spiraling, bro. Spiraling. And that bitch wonders why I don't fucking talk to her. Shit like that. Like, that's fucking stupid. Stupid. Don't ever treat people like that. That shit's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Maybe because you don't have that kind of self-control, by all means, work on it. But if someone tells you that their health is at risk for doing something, don't sit here and be like, well, it's just a shot. It's okay. Bitch, if I didn't fall to peer pressure when I was a fucking teenager, why would I fall to peer pressure now? Especially when my health is at risk. It doesn't matter if it took a doctor to say something. A doctor didn't say shit to me. It was my own decision. When I was like, you know what? I am fucking tired of not being able to remember what it feels like to feel okay. Waking up every day and feeling like complete and utter shit. And the day I had the same doctor. It was a floor doctor when I was admitted. I got admitted 2 times in a row. And I was like, I've never had the same doctor twice, but thank God, because she was the only doctor that realized that I don't push the button a lot because I don't want to be perceived as a fucking drug seeker. Because I had a PCA, it's the you know, when they give you basically a bag of Dilaudid and you're allowed to push it whenever you need it. It's like every 15 minutes, you know, because that's the, like, basically your blood levels show that you're fucked up that bad, and if you're in that much pain, you know, you can ask for it. So they don't have to come in here every 30 minutes to an hour and give you pain meds, because you're at that point. You know, there's no point in just coming into you. They're gonna give you that for a couple days or however long you're in there, and then they'll taper you down. But even then, I'm pretty sure, you know, you're still on fucking long acting fucking morphine and shit, and then you get tapered down on the tabs. But she was like, you're not asking for it. You're not asking for it. And that's what she taught me. You know, we're gonna send you home, you can take your scheduled dose. I'm on a scheduled dose of 4 tabs of Dilaudid. I also don't take this much anymore. We're gonna get there, but I take 4 tabs of Dilaudid, 4 tabs of 2 milligrams. That's 6. It's 8. 4 times 2. It's 8 milligrams. But I said 16 because I can take up to like 3, 4, whatever, depending on my pain, up to half an hour to an hour in between. So if an hour later, after I take that original 4, I can take half an hour to an hour later, I can take another 3 tabs, 2 to 3 tabs for a breakthrough dose. And that's how that doctor taught me to manage my pain. So I'm not fucking chasing pain. Chasing pain is the worst fucking thing. So when you feel your pain initially, get that motherfucker. Because that shit is the worst. Like when you're chasing pain, you might as well just go to the hospital so the motherfuckers can get you managed. You go to the ER and be like, hey, I'm at like a 65, probably lower. Tell them like your percentage where you think you're like at maybe 50, but tell them your functioning level. You like, I can function at like 75, 80%. I'm at like 25. Can you get me to 65, 80, whatever you function at, and send me home? They'll get you there. They'll get you there and kick your ass out. And you be like, oh, well, I ain't got meds. They'll fill you up. But if you could tell them that, if you could give them that playbook, they'll fuck with you. Stop walking in there with that negative connotation that they're gonna see you as a drug seeker. When you walk in there like that, that's exactly when they stop fucking with you, because they know that you don't know. They see you as a drug seeker, because if you can't go in there and recite your fucking med list forward, backwards, sideways, diagonally, in every fucking direction, that's questionable. Why don't you know your meds like the back of your fucking hand? Because you're the motherfucker taking them, you're the motherfucker pouring them out, you're taking those every single fucking day. You should know them on a regular. No question about it. And when they're getting prescribed to you, you should be asking questions, because you're the one taking them. You're indulging those. And when anything, you feel something different, especially when and it's like a different doctor prescribed them, or you don't get them all at once. You can be like, hey, well, I started taking this one this day, and I've been taking it for about like 3 weeks, and ever since I started taking them, I've started to notice and I feel this. Like, it took me a little while to get in the flow of this. Maybe it's also because of the field that I work in, that I got in the habit of doing this, because we had to do it for the people that I take care of. But I would start writing it down. I'm like, all right, cool. Especially because I forget, and a lot of my doctor has a habit of asking me, okay, well, how long has it been happening? When did it start? And they always ask these questions, and I have a long rapport with my doctors, and I'm like, okay, well, they always ask me this, and they always ask me, those same 3 questions: how long, when did it start, and what do you feel? And I'm like, I have the habit of forgetting, because I'm like, I usually just like wait this shit out and expect it to go away. I'm like, if I just sit here and chill, it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away. I'm good. But I'm like, and if I do that, after like 2 weeks or whatever, it's gonna go away. But sometimes it'll come back, and then it comes back, I forgot what it felt like the first time, or so on and so forth. So I was like, fuck it, I need to get a health journal. So I did. I'm like, I write all these, I journal all the time anyway. So I got a separate one. I just started writing, I just, made that health one anyway. And I'm like, every time I forget half the shit they tell me when I go to the hospital anyway, or to the, a doctor's visit. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just use that dual purpose. When I go in there, I'm going to write down their orders, when I need labs, when my treatment's changing, when I got to go back, the appointments, whatever. Everything's going in there. And whenever I feel something new, if I feel a new pain in my arm and it's the 3rd time it's come back, time 1, time 2, time 3. Okay, time 1 feels like time 3. I missed time 2, but at least I got 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, and I could let them know that it feels like 1 in 3 I missed time too, but it's been happening since this long. And this is how much pain medication I took the first time. This is how much pain medication I took the second time. This is what I was doing. I was exercising the first time, but the third time I wasn't doing jack shit. The second time I was driving a car, you know, the works. So they know that, you know, I'm not doing heavy activity 90% of the time, but the first time I was. My bad, I didn't know. But maybe that's what triggered it. Because sometimes something triggers it and it doesn't go away, it dies out, but it's there. But because of my pain tolerance, I'm not really acknowledging it, but it is there, you know. So sometimes you gotta be on shit like that, because a pain tolerance can have you fucked up. Like you can have something there for weeks on end and not really know it, but it's there. So you have to kind of keep track of it, regardless of the fact that you know it or not. And I just keep that in the book, and I do all that shit with the pain too. Or like when I started working out again, like I said, I had to get back in the gym. When I got back in the gym, I was like, okay, I knew that a large reason why I stopped working out is because I was so upset by how much pain medication I had to take just to, you know, go to work, or just to exercise, just to, how much I had to take before I exercise, how much I had to take after exercise, how much I had to take, you know, just to sit in the car, just to do basic everyday shit, and it pissed me off. So I was like, all right, this session I took, 3. This session I took 2. This session I only took 1.5. This session I took all 4. And this session I took none. But afterwards I had to take 2. And, this how it felt. I was a little sore, no soreness, this and that. I just document everything. Changing diet. Changing... I don't really pay attention to my weight, because I spent a long time focused on my weight. A really fucking long time on my weight. And it pissed me the fuck off. It's not about the number. Fuck a number. As long as I'm healthy, I'm straight. Because muscle makes more than fat. And I eat like a motherfucker. I spent a long time eating like shit, and it didn't fucking put any fucking weight on me. I got a little mini panza, and that pissed me off, because then when you get a little fucking mini belly, I still didn't weigh anything, but fucked up my figure. At least for me, because I saw it. I knew it was there. And nobody else in the world fucking knew it was there, but I knew it was there. So I had to fucking start working out again. But then when I eat right, I exercise, panza's gone, and I weigh more because I'm physically fit and I have muscle on my body. So, but depending on if you know what I look like, I look a little stockier, and yeah, like I said, I weigh more. It's just I look exactly the same. I looked the same my entire life, just been fucking taller. So yeah, don't chase the pain. Eat right. And if you're a picky eater, start your protein to something green. If you're really like someone that has a hard time eating every meal, protein shakes like a motherfucker. But don't do that. I don't really promote them, because it made me eat less. Like, I would drink them and it would fill me up, but the thing was, I would skip a meal. So what I would do was, when I ate them, I would eat a full meal and then drink it afterwards. So instead of me drinking one in place of a meal and end up skipping a meal later and then being crazy hungry later, I would eat a full meal and then have it like basically bulk up the meal that I just ate, so I would be like way more full. And then just, I don't know, eat like I don't know. Yeah, that's just what I did. Talk to your doctor about a breakthrough dosage. If you feel like you're chasing your pain, talk to your doctor about a breakthrough dose and how to properly do that. Especially if you don't or you do, I don't know, or like just consult with them, because not everybody takes like a long acting dose throughout the day. Like I take a bunch of fucking pain meds. I take a BID dose. I take one in the morning and one at night, and then I take my breakthrough doses throughout the day. And then my breakthrough doses have breakthrough doses. Like I take a fuck ton. That's why I made it a goal to make sure I use as less as possible. So I'm down from that 4 with the breakthrough doses in between the 4 to 1 to 2 tabs. So like I barely use any now. That's why it's also they make me so fucking sleepy now, because I barely use any. So it's like I'm brand new to this shit again. And water. If you do not have a 64-ounce fucking jug of water that you fade off every day, start at about 8 a.m. and finish by 8 p.m. Same thing, eight of these. And if you don't have at least 4 or 5 done by 6 p.m., fade off 3. Just pop that bitch open and stop being a little bitch and drinking juice all the goddamn time. And soda, and you wonder why you're all fucked up. In between, drink something with electrolytes to keep the water in your body. I drink something with electrolytes, like a Powerade or a Gatorade or vitamin water. And I've been trying random new shit, because they had all these healthy drinks and shit out at meals, because I don't like to drink water with food. And Zen. What else I got? Yeah, if you're thirsty, it's because your body's craving it. Your body's craving fucking to be hydrated. Give your body what it needs. The little hydration test, if you can pinch your shit and it don't go back, you dehydrated. If you're fucking ashy, you're dehydrated. Hydrate your fucking skin, just like you need to hydrate your body. I'm probably ashy too. I was looking at it when I held up my hands. My hands get hella ashy when I wash my hands, because I wash my hands like a fucking maniac. I hate germs. Don't fucking get me sick. I'll fucking fight you. Stay away from fucking sick people. Don't live fearfully, live carefully. If you always constantly worried about what something gonna happen, it's gonna fucking happen. If you worried, like, the more you bring that on your life, it's gonna fucking happen, pretty much. Yeah, just don't, like, that's the same thing with, like, I guess when I originally started talking about it, like the fear of like the depression, anxiety. Don't bring that shit in your life. Like, you sit here and be like, oh, well, I have sickle cell, I'm allowed to be depressed and have anxiety. Like, you can have anxiety. Like, I remember, like, when they diagnosed me with anxiety, I don't have anxiety anymore. Like, ask the MFT, said I ain't got that shit. Like my doctors told me I had anxiety, because, like, I would sit there and fidget my fucking hands when they told me I couldn't work full time. Like, they said most people with sickle cell have they can't work they work part-time and they go to school part-time. I'm like, bitch, those are motherfuckers with support and shit. Like, I support myself. I pay my own bills. I do all my own shit. I buy my own car. I pay my own rent. I do all my own shit. I pay for me, okay? So you telling me I can't go to school full time, I can't work full time, that fucks my life up, okay? So like, of course I'm going to be anxious, because the first thing I'm thinking is like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Because everybody that supports me, all they ever do is tell me I need to make more money, and I need to fucking work. Like, I would love to work part-time and go to school full-time, because my goal would be accomplished, or like I would at least be halfway to my goal. I would love to do it. Everybody don't have that luxury. Everybody doesn't have the luxury of people supporting their health or understanding their health or not being in denial of their health. I think if people weren't in denial of my health or afraid to know what it is, I would have known a whole lot more about my health before I got sick, before I got, thoroughly and, deep dived into that motherfucking illness. Like, people didn't want to know about it until they had to see it, until they had to face it. They were like, oh shit, this is real. We can't pretend she's not sick anymore. We can't pretend she's healthy and like the rest of us. Yeah, I like normalcy and like to normalize, but, when I'm 16 and playing basketball like everybody else didn't mean I wasn't in pain. And, fading off half a bottle of Advil, behind the locker room door just so I could, play the full game. And when I got off, I took the other half of the bottle, like, but that was because no one told me basically what my disease was. I had to read it in my biology book, like, and like everything else, like, most people, like, I'm sitting on the sickle cell websites now, and I see that, like, all these moms, especially like the people that are like, oh, well, like, oh, my kid's like 3, and I'm like, your kid's 3? I'm like, I thought you were the motherfucker that had it, so you're the parent. I'm like, damn, like, I know the internet wasn't really around like when I was a kid, but like, there wasn't no pamphlets they could have gave my parents. Like, I know them motherfuckers don't like to read, and they was probably still learning English, but I'm like, there wasn't a Spanish side of the pamphlet. Like, what made them not get any information? Or y'all couldn't get a translator to let them know what the fuck was going to happen to them, to me? Because literally, I didn't find shit out till I was 16, and the doctor was like, hey, yo, all this shit right here is and might happen to you, by the way. And everybody was wondering why the fuck I was flipping out, and I was like, I'ma die by the time I'm 60. I'ma have a heart attack. I'ma have a stroke. Fuck everything. I'ma just wild the fuck out. I'ma do whatever the fuck I want to. And I was kind of depressed and everybody else out, but I was real fucking depressed. I was like, I'm gonna lose my vision. But at the same time, while I was losing my fucking shit, I was game planning like a motherfucker. I was like, all right, cool. So when I lose my vision, I got to know everybody's phone number and how to dial that shit without being able to look. That's when I came up with on my deathbed, I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm going to do whatever it is the fuck I want. If I get the opportunity to do some shit, I'm not going to turn that shit down. As long as I can deal with the repercussions of it, I'm going to fucking do it. Game planning. All right, I'm a, do whatever, every flavor of the rainbow before I decide that I'm going to get married and have kids, because I'm not going to be that stupid bitch that's over here crying like, oh my God, you stole my youth. I didn't get to have sex with a Puerto Rican. I didn't get to do this because you just stole my youth and you sucked the life out of me, bitch. Then why didn't you do that before you got married and had children? I ain't gonna be that bitch. When I'm married, I'm gonna be invested in my marriage and having kids, because that's the portion of my life that I decided to be in. And that's where I want to be. Because when I wanted to be out there hoeing and doing stupid shit, acting an ass, and clubbing and being in bars, that's what I was invested in. And I was getting drunk and acting an ass and doing all that stupid shit. And that's what I was invested in. And I did it. And I did everything I wanted to do at that time. It was called the fuck it list. Because when you doing it, you said, fuck it. I'm going to do it. Fuck it, thug life. You feel me? There's a whole lot of things to that fuck it list. It's like a bucket list, but you say fuck it. You feel me? If you know, you know. So, that was that. Get you a fuck it list. I guess that's what I'm going to have to round that off to. Think about your life and how you want to live it and go out and fucking get it. Don't blame nobody else. Because we know. That's like when I meet other people with illnesses, they could be in their shit, they womping, you feel me? Call the ambulance. And I give it to them. I'm gonna allow them to have it. Because my first thing is, when did you find out? Oh, you just found out like a year or two, 5 years ago? That's cool. You still got signing process. I know my whole life. That's cool. That's cool. I've had my entire life to process. Like I said, I lost my shit at 16. I've already gone through my whole, like, oh my God, the world's gonna end. I'm over it. Fucking over it. Now I'm on to a whole new different parts of my life, and I'm doing other things. You feel me? Like, they're in the whole, the world's gonna end, what am I gonna do portion of their life, because they just found out, you feel me? Like, everybody deals with it in different times. I need other people with sickle cell to get over that, oh my God, the world's gonna end shit, because that's what's making y'all motherfuckers sick, you feel me? I get it, everybody's sickle cell is different, and it like, it emulates in us different, but it can be handled different also, because we all have the same triggers. You feel me? Like, we all have the same triggers, so it essentially can be handled the same way. Like, or it can be handled the same way, but like we can kind of like sana colita de grana, heal it better, you feel me? I probably said that wrong, but you know, we can sana it better, you feel me? Like, kiss your wounds better. Because I know a lot of motherfuckers like sitting here, you know, womping about it. You know, I left a lot of fucking sickle cell groups because I nothing but dead bodies on that motherfucker. You know how terrible it was for me to go on that bitch and see all them dead bodies? I'm like, ain't y'all supposed to be positive or uplifting and supporting each other? What kind of support group is this if y'all doing nothing but posting dead bodies, talking about how terrible a time you having in there, lying about getting out of the hospital? Bitch, I know you probably got a fucking, you know, the alarm on. I be talking to them motherfuckers that turning my alarm off. So you talk about you actually got out of there? Bitch, stop capping. So I think it could be handled way differently. Way differently. It's just take care of yourself. Love yourself, bro. That is a universal standard for anybody. And then it's failed to be done. Because it's a fucking pity party. Want to live longer. Act like you want to live longer. Act like you're gonna live longer, and maybe it could get done, motherfucker. But like I said, like my opinions, I feel like they come off real aggressive, and some people aren't ready to handle that shit. Like they're real sensitive in this area right here. Not just a touch, but like they can't handle being told like, motherfucker, stop crying, stand the fuck up, and tell the rest of the world you ain't living up to their fucking statistics, okay? It ain't happening. If you made this far, you're gonna make it a lot further, okay? It's your body, you know it. They like to tell you that shit. You know your body? Well, I know my body, motherfucker. We about to do a whole lot of other shit that you ain't. You fucking me up. Stop listening to motherfuckers that don't know you. You know you. But I can go on all day about that shit. I got shit to do. I gotta go. I'm out, bitches.